the Senate will delay their recess as they continue to wrangle over a supplemental funding deal to help Ukraine. Join us right now is Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma. Senator, good morning to you.
Morning, Andrew.
What's the state of play here? What do you think the chances are that anything gets done before Christmas?
I think it's very slim. I mean, even the White House chose just this week to really start engaging with the Republicans. We said all along that we got to have meaningful border security if we're going to do Ukraine funding and the Israel package. That hasn't changed. Republicans in the House and the Senate are very confident in our stance of where we want to be because we want to stem the flow of illegal crossings. Right now, Andrew, there is over 21,000 individuals every other day claiming asylum on our southern border. During the Obama administration, when they said they had a crisis from 2010 to 2014, we only averaged 21,000 a year. So there's a huge problem. Everybody knows that. But the Biden administration refused to engage with us until just recently. So let's just say we got a deal struck today, Andrew, which I really don't think we can, but just say we do. It'll take 2 or 3 days before we could even get it written up for us to start reading it. That's another 2 or 3 days for us to go through it, look at the changes that need to be made, and then start the proceedings just in the Senate. Now, that doesn't even mean that the House is going to be able to come back. So the chances of us having this done before Christmas is just almost impossible.
Help educate the audience, if you could, because I think we all hear about the border as an issue sort of writ large. But right now we're down to the details of what we're talking about at the border. It appears that the Biden administration may be coming to the table to try to move on their side a little bit. I don't know where you think the fault line is exactly. So much of this revolves around asylum seekers. What do you see the actual sticking point being?
Well, really meaningful securing our border. They want to put a cap number on it. So they say they want to reduce the flow by 100 or 200, and that's literally just putting a pencil mark on a piece of paper. That doesn't change anything. When we're having over 10,000 a day seeking asylum, that's a huge issue, right? So what they first proposed was over $13 billion to literally put in processing centers in Mexico to process individuals faster when they came to the United States. What we're saying is, let's go to the pact that we have with Canada and with Mexico and say that the pact we have between the two countries simply state that you have to claim asylum in the first country you enter. So if you enter Mexico first, you got to claim asylum there before you get to the United States. And if you enter the United States, you got to claim asylum there before you go into Canada or Mexico. That would stem the flow just by changing that one process, Andrew. That would stem the flow by over 70% because over 70% of the individuals crossing our southern border are from other countries than Mexico. So that's a very simple change that could be made that we already have an agreement with both countries that they both already practice. So we're not talking about building the wall. We're not even talking about remaining in Mexico. We're talking about using a change that's already on the books, and they won't even begin to negotiate on that. Instead, they want to have unrealistic numbers so they can say they've done something when really, when you're talking about 100 or 200 a day that they want to reduce by, when you're having over 10,000, it doesn't even make any sense.
Hey, Senator Mullin, I can understand why we'd be in favor of that, why Canada would be in favor of that. What does Mexico say if we bring that up to them? Because they're going to wind up with a lot more of the refugees as a result. Sure.
We've had conversations with them before. And basically, I'll tell you what they're basically saying. If you all do this, then we're going to need help securing our southern border. You know what? If that's what they need, fine. We will help them secure their southern border because it'll be a lot more cost effective for us to do that than it will be for us to try to stop it on our side. They understand there's a problem. But since people are just crossing their country to get into the United States, they really aren't interested in trying to stop the flow. But if we engage in this, then they said they're going to need help on the other side. And the Republicans are saying, if that's what you need, okay, let's talk.
Senator, let's say a deal doesn't happen. What do you think the true implication is for Ukraine? What do you think the true implication for Israel is? And what do you think the true implication is for our standing as an ally in the world?
Well, first of all, I believe we have an obligation to Ukraine. According to the Budapest Memorandum of 1994, when we said if you'll give up your nuclear weapons, the United States will be there specifically if you get invaded by Russia. And I don't think any of us here think that Russia and Putin would have invaded Ukraine if they still had nuclear weapons. So we have an obligation to them, and I feel like we'll fulfill that. And we also know that we're going to do this, but we're not going to do it until we have border security. The Biden administration can't argue why we shouldn't do this. This is a 70% issue across the United States. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or Libertarian. 70% of the population today says that the border is a national security risk and we have to do something there. So we're actually doing the Biden administration favor by saying that we want meaningful border security. So I really do believe eventually we're going to get a deal struck. We made a mistake in the Senate thinking that Chuck Schumer was the one that we need to negotiate with. All along, Chuck Schumer isn't the person you need to negotiate with. He's not even running the Senate in an effective manner whatsoever. But the Biden administration, by the fact that they're engaging now, we feel like we've got a very good chance to get this accomplished, but not before Christmas.